citizens, the need for basic sustenance remains high. While the world produces enough food to feed ourselves twice over, we are reminded every day just how people are living without food, water, and shelter. And while Shiva attempts to instill the idea that all members of our Earth community have the right to food, water, a safe and clean habitat, and a security of ecological space, inequities continue to disrupt the attempts of creating a true Earth democracy. But despite the challenges, there are pockets across the country and communities that are coming together to combat the food insecurity that is prevalent. These citizens are creating gardens to be used for support, engage, and provide for not only the members of the local community, but also the broadened local environment. On a regular day in 1998, Jim Holmes was driving with his son on Renola Road in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. As he was passing by the children's home, he imagined using the vacant land to create a garden to provide for those in need. Shortly after that moment, Holmes set up a meeting with Second Harvest Food Bank and created the Food Bank Community Garden. For over 15 years, the garden has continually produced ton after ton of food exclusively for the purpose of providing for those who are food insecure. I wanted to understand the need for such an organization. I wanted to understand the impact of the community garden was making on the earthly democracy of North Carolina. It was time to get a wake-up call.
The Children's Home has given this garden, which is almost 15 years old, the opportunity to grow food here, and it's all grown for Second Harvest Food Bank, which is a distribution for food to people who need emergency food through 18 counties of this part of North Carolina.
We came together and knew how many people might be suffering from hunger, but more importantly, wanted to dig in the dirt a little bit and enjoy being here. So we also were able to involve many different groups. We had people wanting to help us, which is a wonderful thing to happen. An Eagle Scout came forward and built those beautiful benches for us. We have had a lot of support from the Y. A group of kids came from the Y and walked down and had instructions on planting.
As I continued to listen to volunteers talk about the garden, I couldn't help but feel their sense of joy from the experience. And as they spoke about their service and the people they had met, I began to ponder about additional benefits present in community garden beyond providing sustenance for the food insecure.
The important word in community gardening is not gardening. Our purpose has more to do with community than it does with growing things.
It's the relationship between people that we're fostering with the activity of growing plants.
It teaches children that vegetables come from someplace other than the grocery stores.
Before I became more involved in gardening, a garden was just a place where carrots grew and broccoli grew. And now it's a place where people grow together and come together.
Kids benefit from community gardens too, learning about plants, insects, and weather. It gives them a chance to interact with elders, fostering respect, improving interpersonal skills, and building a spirit of cooperation and responsibility.
So I started to understand that community gardens were not only about providing sustenance and food for the community, but to remind us as Gadotians that food is not the only human need, and that we also need dignity, autonomy to decide upon our own existence, culture, knowledge, and awareness. To gain a better understanding, I defaulted to my good friend.
This is a wonderful opportunity for me to talk about one of my greatest joys as First Lady to a group that truly appreciates the power that food can have in our lives. When I decided to plant the White House Kitchen Garden, I thought it would be a great way to educate kids about food, where it comes from, and how fresh fruits and vegetables can help all of us live healthier lives. But our little garden has turned into more than I could have ever expected. As I travel around the world, no matter where I go, the first thing world leaders, prime ministers, kings, queens have asked me is, how is the White House Kitchen Garden? I tell them about working with local students from the DC community to turn over the dirt, plant the seeds, and make sure everything gets enough water. I tell them about the excitement that I see in the faces of the kids when we check on the plants and see how much they've grown. I tell them about the enormous sense of satisfaction that the kids get from harvesting the fruits and vegetables they worked so hard on, and the joy that comes from enjoying food grown with such love and care. And that's why this garden has truly been one of the greatest things that I've done in my life so far.
So after all of that, I had an idea. Maybe from the very beginning, I was looking at the sustainability issue in a very narrow focus. I was looking at community gardens only in their ability to provide food and sustenance for those who are food insecure. But I glazed over the majority of the benefit of a community garden, and that is the community building aspect of sustainability. And as I thought about it, I wondered about myself and how I could also contribute to the sustainable future of community. And very quickly, I realized that one of the greatest impacts I have on a sustainable future is about 4 feet tall, weighs about 48 pounds, and well, you know.
Look how many we got.
I know.
This is green or yellow.
I see. Do you think that was picked too early?
No.
What do you think happens when they turn red?
They ripen.
Are they ready to eat?
Yeah.
I'm going to go here and see if there's any more.
Here's one.
What did you learn today, Lucas? Yes, you can put the mic on.
I don't know.
What did you learn about watermelons?
They actually grow on vines.
Mm-hmm. Where did you think they grew on?
Trees with vines on them.
And how do we find out whether a watermelon are ready to eat?
Pat them.
And what sound did they make?
Boom, boom.
So what's different about picking vegetables here than going to, like, the store?
Everything's different.
Really? And everything's different?
Yeah. It's outside. They grow it. And they give it away by free.
Oh, okay.
Stores are inside. They get it from a farm, and they give it away for money.
It's true, it is different. And, you know, once they told you that this garden food goes to feed people that can't afford food, what do you think about that?
I feel good.
Why do you feel good?
Because feeding other people.
You think it's important to give food to other people if they can't afford it? Why?
Because people need food to grow.
So thankfully, Lucas was around to help guide me through this whole process of sustainability in the community garden, to truly understand what was happening. They weren't just feeding the stomachs of those who were food insecure. They were feeding the spirits, the minds, the bodies, and the hearts of all of the community that surrounds the garden. And in that, it starts to understand what some of these writers were talking about. Like Fullen, when he was talking about leadership and sustainability, he talks about service with a moral purpose, having something beyond the service that guides you. And then, of course, when we go back to Shiva and we talk about the interconnectedness that we all feel at every level, not just the ecological or biological, at every molecular level we are connected. And as we look at those connections and the energies that exist, it makes me wonder how much further we can go.
You'll sing a song, and I'll sing a song, and we'll sing a song together. You'll sing a song, and I'll sing a song in warm or wintry weather. You'll play a tune, and I'll play a tune, and we'll play a tune together.